Alright, so we need to go talk to a bunch of homies.
The Beatles poet could hide us spoils from chitters, but not from us, eh? I knew you was the exile for the job. I'm sure you've been more than compensated already from Victario's stockpiles, but here's a little extra. Care of something I found under a dead man's bed. Why? Just because I like you.
Mmm.
Bring me back something nice, huh?
Sure, no problem. Alright, so we're gonna get these. This is just +1 zombies. This is just more minion life, but we're gonna spring across to get sovereignty, which should just make all of my shit better. Whenever I get a hatred, it's gonna make that better. Huh. Alright, this is better for me. I mostly need the links, so you know, it's all good.
I'll need to be more lithe for that.
Dexterity. Okay. So then once we this is giving me dexterity. But once we put 8, 30, we'll have way more than enough. Oh, no. Also, I guess I should say it wasn't like climbing. That's like an exaggeration of what happened. We went up a mountain.
Bring me back something nice, huh?
I don't think I'd actually go mountain climbing with anything other than real shoes. Okay. That's fine. Oh, no one else has anything to say? Cool. The plum is easy to get. It's very consistent in getting there, so that's fine. No, not really though. I'm not like so an indoorsy person that I like won't go out. I'm not a lot of people that are just like, oh my god, the sun or whatever. Like, no, whenever I end up needing to like be around, then it's fine. If I were to go on a walk or anything like that, just because it's nice out, not because I'm like an active person or anything like that. Ow. I'm just gonna SRS it up and then hope we win. Yeah, so I think when we get specters, I'm not gonna use them. Like, I'm probably just not even gonna socket the gem. It'll just be like too annoying for me to want to manage right now.
I'd love to see the insides of this spell. I can't abide housework.
Opening that door, hella XP. All right, that's minion damage, so this should be nice. So my minions don't have any leech, they just have like a little bit of regen. Yeah, there you go. I'm giant now. Are all my minions giant? Okay, well, great. I'm pretty sure the ribbons are down. Oh no. SRS fight, SRS fight. What is this? 10 life. No. I'm not so pressed about the resistances just in general. What are my resistances at though? I'm doing okay. Have you not played Skyrim at all? Oh, I feel like maybe we talked about this. It is, I think it's probably better than Fallout. It probably holds up better than Fallout 2. It's a lot of fun. If you haven't played it at all, I would highly recommend it. I think I want to go back and play it because I actually haven't played the DLC. I played like the core game, but there's actually like a lot of DLC. So if you can get like a remastered edition of it or like all the DLC together and stuff, I think it represents a lot of game to play. I think it actually, so I think the thing that it does really well, which maybe I don't necessarily, having not gone through all of the Fallout map, I don't know how well it does it, but it makes it seem like literally everything that you can discover is something worth discovering. And I think that's kind of like a big draw of those kinds of games from Bethesda, is that that can happen. And I'm not necessarily sure that they've always delivered on it, but they definitely did with Skyrim. So I'd suggest it. Oh, yo, Vegan, here we go.
You there. Let me bend your ear for a moment.
I just want to do his stuff so I can hear his dialogue, because his stuff is funny, I would say. Funnier than a lot of the other dudes. No, not right now. So I want to play the Xbox version again. I just want to get through the story. So since there was no patch for the Xbox, the story in the game isn't there. So I want to play through it once.
Even more
so
full
that
of
I
yourself
just have
than
it since
last
it's out
time, I
now.
see. The bigger the head, the badder the fall, my old man used to say. Walk around Rayclass with an attitude like that, and you're going to wind up in some undying's larder. Allow me to arrange the beating of some sense back into you. I've set aside a nice, cozy spot there for a bit of a tussle.
You set this
I'll meet
up?
you in there, shall I?
Yeah, so I think once we get through this, I'll go back over to playing some of the Xbox. And hopefully by then they patch it in some way. Oh, I'm so fucking sorry. I was worried for some reason that he would attack.
Now, here I was going on about your inflated head, but it was my head that got shrunk faster than a pair of testicles in an ice bath. I won't be underestimating you again in a hurry. Well now, don't the spirit of Deresso smile on you. I'm still his favorite, of course, but he's got plenty of love to go around. Speaking of sharing the love, come see me on your next jaunt into the San encampment. I reckon we've got some talking to do.
Some talking. I feel like maybe you should do some talking with Tora, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think regardless of once a patch happens, we're gonna try to level some characters on the Xbox. He's a pretty lewd dude also, just in general. I think one of his voice lines that I remember a bunch is, he's just like, I've had rougher tussles in bed, or whatever. What a character. I don't know what that was. Hopefully it was okay to level. I don't think I have that clarity on, so I think we're good to just level whatever. I feel like my chest armor isn't correct. Oh, it totally is. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, also the Xbox doesn't have these hot MTXs yet. What am I supposed to do? I'm trying to look cool while attacking dudes. Yeah, no. So my immediate, like, when we go back to playing the Xbox version is just to level some characters up to, I think what we'll do is we'll get characters up to 20 or 80, and then I think we'll switch until they put more content in the game. And then I can feel good about maybe capping off a build on the Xbox, since there's not that much stuff.
You are not a
It'd be mapping from like
Strange.
60 to 80.
Inundated
so.
with cockroaches I am. Black ones, 4 limbs, nasty, spiky things. Are you spiky? If so, my ribbons will pluck your spines. Malachi liked spines. Liked my spine. Pretty spine. Bejeweled and bountiful. Enough to make an empire weep. Do you weep, not a cockroach? I do. Tears are infinite. Why, on this very day I found a new reason to cry. What is that you have? Not a cockroach?
Not a cockroach.
My ribbons spool. Those black ones wanted them, my ribbons. Wanted to wrap the city in black ribbons. Now they are my ribbons forevermore. Forevermore. I hate forever. I could tear happy ever after from bards' bleeding tongues. You're still here, not a cockroach. Oh, gratitude, yes. I should give you a token. Token? What token? This? Is this to your liking?
Sure.
The cockroaches will come again. They want the twist. That cockroach emperor. The other bugs shout his name. Ravicius. Cross the river, squash the emperor cockroach in his nest. The bridge. It is barricaded. That spawns a tricky question. Questions. Questions. I asked too many questions. Chit has told me so. I asked where it all went. Our feculence. He made them show me. Under the river. The sewers from this side to that. Filthy, fetid tunnels like a rower's cloaca.
I'm sorry, what?
Place. Crawling with the undying.
Crawling
Once
with undying.
beautiful and arrogant gemlings. Now the foul waste of the empire. Fitting, isn't it?
Oh, gemling.
Apt.
Okay.
Apt. Apt. I like you, not a cockroach. I like that you listen. It would annoy me if the undying murdered you. Formetic sulfite. That's what you need. You have some already. You are a resourceful humbug now, aren't you? Give it to me. I was all eyes and ears when Malachi worked. I will make something of your formetic sulfite. I will forge an infernal talc that will bring the most furious of light to the undying darkness.
Undying
Dash of
passage.
arcanity, a pinch of insanity, a whisper of profanity, and the infernal talc is now ready. Goodbye.
Oh, yo.
It's the most explosive of powders. A sprinkle, the gentlest of dustings of infernal talc will provoke gems to a molten rage. For the undying, the very sun will rise within their flesh. They will burn for their sins, not a cockroach. They will burn.
That took a turn. Quickly.
I loved Malachi. He gave me gems, divine jewels for his gemling queen. For his dead queen. But I didn't want me dead. Malachi begged. For him, for the Empire. I chose me. Selfish me. The Empire died, and I live. I live, and live, and live, and live.
I'm Poppy.
I was the Emperor's favorite for a time.
Favorite.
But Chittis had many favorites. He filled the scepter of God with favorites. Every now and then, he cleared away the clutter. Those who pleased him, they were given to his lords and generals. Those who did not were given to his thaumaturgists. I talked too much, asked too many difficult questions. I was gifted to Malachi. My dear, troubled Malachi. You may go.
I wonder how long all of this stuff has been in the game. I wonder in general how long that they have really planned a lot of this stuff in general. I don't know why I did that. I'm not going to use that. Wow, this is actually kind of decent. If there was life on that, then that would be fucking perfect. Fucking cool. Alright, so hopefully this won't be that bad. I think if we can somehow get a level before we get to Malachi, then it will extra be easy. We're like standing right next to each other, but we're not fighting each other. That's hilarious. I fight for God, Exile. Who do you fight for? Ow.
I shall purify you in flame, horror of nightmare.
Horror of nightmare, huh?
I fought for God. Who do you fight for, Exile?
Huh?
You wanted me burned back in Oriath, Gravisius. That wasn't very nice.
That wasn't very nice. What level are we? Okay. We doing okay. We getting through the video game. That's awkward. There's no one there. I read that as Reznor. Resonator. I feel like I just tried to tilt my head to look into the room. Ow. Go after something else. This is why I don't like playing a summoner. There's just like, there are like 14 other things you can attack and you decide to attack me. Fuck off.
I no longer need fear. Destiny is seeing to that.
Alright, one more zombie. Cool. Death pelt. Oh, I could just have looked what that was. Yeah. There's a summoner here that I don't see. Or maybe he's dead. I guess he's dead, it's fine. Whatever. It's all good to me. Don't pull me. Don't do it. No. I find it really intense that he falls over and like literally just dissolves into blood. I'm surprised how little, I guess it's changed like a little bit. This zone overall has changed like very little from what I remember in like when it was first introduced even. Like very few layout changes. I think the biggest change was they moved where the waypoint was and that was it. That's all I really remember. Like I think in previous iterations of this tile set, or oh, and actually no, it's okay. There's a door right here. Like there was the waypoint used to be like randomly in the middle of the zone, and now it's like right here next to the stairwell, which is like makes more sense, I guess. No, I should go back to travel to Sarn, so I can get some inspectors. Oh, you know, I was supposed to put that point into something else. I need this dex for discipline. No, to equip this chest piece.
You getting by?
This will probably be better now. I'm not gonna use that long term though.
You getting by? Stay out of the shadows. They bite. Stay out of the shadows. They bite.
Oh, okay.
You've done for Gravisius. If only I could get word to that lad I smuggled away from the general's wife at the time. The good widow would need a sympathetic shoulder to cry on.
Yeah, that's it.
Stay out of the shadows.
Stay out of the shadow.
You are the true spirit of Makoru, the shark. Not the cowardly beast that sinks its teeth into the lonely swimmer. You strike the Waikoama, the canoe, spilling a feast of men into the water. Hunters turn hunted that you dine on at your pleasure. Have this, Makoru.
Makoru. Stormburst. Dark Pact. Chains 2 times. Oh. Radius if you're using your life +4. Interesting. I feel like I should just try Dark Pact, since I don't want to use whatever.
There's still prey out there. An overreaching witch floundering out of her depth. Happy hunting, Makoru.
Makoru.
Talakura, go with courage.
The Gemling Queen? She's impossible. How did she survive? Why is she not one of the Undying? No, these questions can wait. There's a more pressing one. Is she safe from the Ebony Legion?
Yeah?
You've been busy. With the spool back where it belongs, the ribbons should be able to keep the Ebony Legion at bay. We've both seen what they can do to a man. Whether you were saving your own skin or thinking of others, it matters little to me. You succeeded where I did not. You have stood in the presence of the Gemling Queen. I can only hope to meet her in my nightmares.
In my nightmare.
Despite everything else you've done, to let piety live is to threaten the existence of every living thing on this continent. Look to the west of Gravisius's camp. You'll find piety in the Lunaris temple, cowering behind her desecrations.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Oh.
There's my favorite fighter.
That's
I've
me.
just been putting some finishing touches on a few martial bits and bobs. Rather nifty they are, if I do say so myself. In fact, I do believe I'm getting better at this frontier shopkeeper malarkey all the time. Certainly developing an eye for quality at any rate. Must be your good influence rubbing off me. So feel free to peruse my wares anytime you like.
To peruse.
Mates rates guaranteed.
I thought it said mixed rates. What can I slot out right now? Because I want to try this gem. Yeah, let's trade out Flesh Offering. So if I wanted to make this real, then I put Vitality and then get some of those minion gems.
You either master Nightmare, or it masters you.
Huh. 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 Well then. I'm feeling this. I need to turn on minion health bars or something. Okay. Okay. Well, this is like, we're turning this into something, I think. Wonder how we scale this. I need to look at the gem a little bit more. Huh. I don't know, if I'm playing the minion build anyway, like, fuck it. I just think it looks cool. Dude, if only I could use it with my zombies. It actually doesn't end up taking a lot of their life. They still take more damage from, like, enemies. Yeah, we kind of need to stare at it a little bit more to figure out if this is even, like, decent.
Everything dies.
I need to stop when my hard drive runs out of space. And as we've been going, I think I'm streaming for another couple hours, maybe? Another hour or two. It's kind of rough times. Oh well, I guess the other option is for me to stop like after we do this, and then I'll be able to stream longer tomorrow. Either way, I kind of fucked up on this, so this is my bad. Hard drives are hard. If only there was a way to like better do this skeleton thing. Maybe this would be more pleasant. Maybe I need more cast speed or something. Ow! Why not use the cloud? Oh, well, this is for like my video. I don't think I really could. Because we're talking about like a lot of space too. Meanwhile, my zombies are over there like doing God knows what. Oh, I can put this in this, so I can fucking put in a discipline. So I gave up some lightning res. Oh, no, 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 no. So we can put this back in, and then we can also put discipline in. Urgh. I don't have a lot of life. I shouldn't be using that self-cast. I kind of want to look at the numbers. Like, how much life do my skeletons actually have without any life investment? Because it seems to be mad decent, honestly. I think that like chance to summon a second minion would actually be really useful for this style of Dark Pact. Because then your install time would just be like one skeleton and that's it. I think just as a thing to do instead of just standing around summoning spec or doing SRS, I think it's probably okay.
Of all the worlds you could have conquered, you had to choose mine. Such power wasted on a feeble imagination.
Yeah, so I guess the problem is like, I don't think that's more damage than the SRS would be doing. So weirdly...
Damn you!
I loved your work, Piety. It was you I wasn't very fond of.
Damn. Oh. This is actually not that great. That's also not that great. Jeez. What the heck? Get destroyed, loser.
You have claimed the most worthy of prey, Makoru. Piety, the mistress of corruption. I'm not saying that the war is over, but you've given Rayclass a much-needed respite. Because of you, this land lives to see another dawn. And don't forget that you've done Grigor and Clarissa a justice of some magnitude. They will wish to speak to you. Citizens of San that was. The Undying have been around for hundreds of
The
years.
Undying.
Left to their own devices, they're likely to survive for hundreds more. Still, they're not immune to mortality's touch. They can be killed with some difficulty.
Piety's off to meet the Maker, is she? I'd love to be a fly on the wall of that little chat.
What a guy.
Wherever he is, I'm sure Tolman knows what you've done. I know you didn't do it for him, or for me. It doesn't matter. Piety's reign of cruelty is over. Thank you.
No problem. Oh, you got a lot of dialogue.
Maramoa. I've heard that the Karui have this philosophy. Makanui, the way of the warrior. I don't think you could get any more Makanui than her. She took it upon herself to look after me, before Tolman arrived. Saved my skin more than once. I'm fine with that. Beats being on her bad side.
Whoa, yeah.
Hagen likes to think he was my kind old uncle back in Theopolis. Granted, the work he gave me saved my parents and I from starvation. This was after my father lost the family fortune at the card table, and we had to give up the manor in the country for a flea box in Theopolis.
The manor in the country.
He's not half as generous as he makes out. When Hagen gives you something, you can be damned sure that he's getting his pound of flesh in return.
Interesting.
No one should have to go through what Grigor has. I help him as much as he'll let me, but he's a proud one, and so he should be. He's survived what has destroyed too many of us.
No.
Gravisius dined with us once. This was before my father's gambling debts caught up with him. I dined with him again in Theopolis prison the night before my exile. He wasn't so polite that time. Thank you. That's one memory I can now put to rest.
Yeah, no problem.
On the fall of the Empire, the historians are deathly silent. After the Purity Rebellion, the Kingdom of Kalm blockaded Oriath, preventing any trade or correspondence with the mainland. It's said that Kalm planned to invade. Only when the Karui retreated did Oriath get any news from Rayclast, but by that time there wasn't really anyone left to tell the tale. I know. So strange that stone and metal should move and live as you and I. Still, I read that Titus's sculptors used to soften their materials with thaumatic sulfite, a byproduct of gem refining. It's the only connection that I can fathom between the cataclysm and the living sculptures of San.
Interesting.
Titus thought that the gemling was the pinnacle of human progress. These glorious gems have brought us within spitting distance of godhood, he once said. The High Templar at the time, Vol of Thebris, thought they were a perversion. He wanted the Empire made pure.
Is that who?
Cleansed of the stain of
Oh, Vol
thaumaturgy.
might just be like king
You
or
look at San
whatever.
and tell me which one you think was right. And while you're out there, look out for monkeys. No, not those bloody monkeys from Frisia. These ones are painted on the walls. I think you'll find them enlightening. Watch yourself.
Or maybe Vol was like a king.
Piety dies amongst her abominations, her warped dream taunting her, maddeningly out of reach. As a poet, I'm fond of that creed of justice. Here, the executioner needs recompense.
Sure.
Unfortunately, Piety was simply a puppet of a greater force. You've cut the strings, but the master remains. Dominus.
Dominus.
That key you've picked up, I heard the blackguards talk of it. It's the one key to the Scepter of God on the northern edge of the blackguard encampment. Only Piety was permitted to carry it. Dominus accessed his laboratory at the summit of the tower via a pulley system rigged to the outside wall. That way will be barred to you. And I heard of no one, not even Piety, going in or coming out of the lower levels. Go with care, Exile. I can't imagine what's inside that tower if even Piety and Dominus feared to tread its steps.
Does that mean people play the same thing multiple times, but differences in how you set up your character changes the gameplay? Yes. You basically like define the gameplay for what you want it to be. Like, this minion-based build is very passive, relatively speaking. So a lot of people, like, the difference in gameplay is just like, I'm not gonna play that way, and I'm just gonna play with like casting fireballs and shit.
And that kind of surety gets you killed inside.
The story and a lot of this stuff is probably like the smallest part of Path of Exile. But
Hagen's got the right idea.
not necessarily like an after sight,
Don't
but
believe in anything.
you know, a lot of people don't necessarily pay attention to it.
I wouldn't rely on Hagen in a fight.
Damn.
And I wouldn't put too much faith in what he says. But he has one highly useful asset. His obsession with self-preservation. If Hagen deems you of use in keeping his fat self alive, he'll do almost anything for you.
The Beast.
When piety was experimenting on me, my consciousness was mercifully fleeting. In those moments of numbing darkness, I met a presence.
A presence.
Intelligence, power, immensity beyond the limits of my pitiable mortal senses. To this creature, I was but a raindrop falling into the sea. I heard Piety speak to her lackeys of the Beast. It is the source of her thaumaturgy and the object of her ambitions. I believe Piety's beast and that dark entity are one and the same. Wherever it is, whatever it is, the beast is the cause of my malformation. It would not be a stretch of reason to consider the beast the source of all malformation in Rayclast.
The Beast.
Have fun elsewhere.
Minion life. Got it. There you go. Direct scaling for Might. Direct scaling for Dark Pact. Death Pact. Yeah, so let's see. I think for pack clearing, it's fine. But the skeletons I don't think are very fast, so it's kind of questionable to use them as a thing. Or as a single target. And that's kind of where the SRS has it beat, just in general. So if I do this, especially if they're close to each other. Sorry, I'm trying to figure. I don't have these like buttons mapped internally. I'm not used to hitting R for anything. Or on a regular basis. It's usually like a golem or an aura or something maybe. If you wanted to scale it this way, though, I think you need... There's some vitality stuff for minions on the tree, and there's a minion vitality as well as a gem. I'm not even necessarily sure that those would really be worth it. Wasn't looking at his life. I have no idea how much damage that did. Yeah, so to keep going on with like the lore stuff though, or the world building, those big spiny enemies are porcupines, or that's what we think. The levels are all random. Well, I guess technically it's always random. It's like a procedurally generated game, so it's not truly random, but it's just kind of the game. Yeah, so I think that the way that you probably want to socket this is minion speed, or vitality minion speed, and then I don't know. I have to think about it. If you were gonna play it as a summoner, I don't even think there's any other sockets that would be beneficial to you. Yeah, so they're still attacking and everything, and then the chaos damage is doing something, but you probably have to. Ow. I have to look at it more. Yeah, but I technically, like, every single time that you play every bit of Path of Exile, it's random to some degree. Or it's never the exact same because it's procedurally generated. Yeah, I don't know. I'll look into this. It's kind of all right. I wonder if you can LMP this. I immediately want to know. Like I kind of want to do this.
Please, do not be alarmed. I am neither monster nor murderer, though that is the duality of existence that defines.
That's the duality of existence, bro.
My name is Yosafuanga, and I have the bleak honor of being the sole scholar to the Imperious Intellection, this grand repository of knowledge you see about you. May reason preserve us. In more mundane circumstances, it would be preposterous to ask this of you, an utter stranger, but given that I don't know in which century I might see another pair of flesh and bone hands, there's a door, you see, concealed behind the shelves. It leads into the archives. That's where Isius Perandus concealed his golden pages. Can you see how maddening that would be for me? No, of course you can't. Ridiculous. Suffice to say that they are beyond my reach. 4 Varlish texts
Minion.
They are, of priceless historical insight. Please, find my friend's golden pages and bring them to me. You will be rewarded. I vow it before the ancestors.
I'm assuming it has the minion. Oh.
It is the Karui way to observe nature in nature. The fish without the sea is no longer a fish. It is dinner. The Eternals
Insightful.
did not see it that way. An Eternal catches the fish, guts the fish, preserves the fish, and places it in a box. Only then does the Eternal feel he truly understands the fish.
Very insightful.
It was a Karui Motiata that discarded my failing body of flesh in favor of canvas and oil. An ancient song and a momentary lapse in judgment that I've had more than enough time to regret. Remember, life is precious.
I thought he was gonna say life is fleeting. Yeah, so I kind of wonder if LMP works with this. So if I have like a bunch of skeletons anyway, this means like way more damage. Yeah, and I think that's a little bit too much install time, though. You probably want to put the 2 skeletons as long as they don't die. Oh, like a MOBA or something? A Moab? No, I don't actually play a lot of MOBAs. I think I play a lot of Heroes of the Storm, so maybe that like kind of gives the wrong impression. But no, I don't actually play a lot of games that are like Smite. I think I like the art style of Paragon, but I don't really. I find playing it is a little bit not my jam necessarily. I don't think it's bad. It's just, you know, not my thing really. I wonder if. Since the damage scales off a life, if I LMP it, how much do I lose? What's this? Pacifism. Yeah, so that's the problem, kinda. Yeah, I really love the way that Paragon looks. I'm just not necessarily the biggest fan of how it plays. Cause I'm bad at MOBAs. Oh, look at that. People that are pissed the doorways are revealed. This one's still hidden. I feel like this probably synergizes really well with minion instability then. Because you can just keep doing it until the minion dies, and then they explode. And they're just like a walking bomb. And then you get that chaos thing too, which is also scales off of minion life. Oh. The forest area in Paragon? The jungle? Alright, minion life. Oh, I get another zombie. Cool. Ow. Yeah, I don't necessarily think that like the Dark Pact is what's really killing a lot of these dudes. Well, a lot of the white mobs, yeah, but it's just weird because like I don't know, like I didn't previously really need a lot of help killing the white mobs. I think I always imagined that I want to go back and play Paragon, but I don't know what I would do if I started playing it again. Yeah, I think the big chunks of damage were coming from my zombies and the skeletons actually hitting, not necessarily the Dark Pact. Struggle City. It's cool though, I don't know. It looks rad. I love the way the skill looks. Yeah, oh no. Yeah, there you go. Find the last page. I don't have to fuck around here. Oh, hello. I'll open this. Oh, god damn it. It didn't cast my second thing. Yeah, I don't know. Very weird. I think if there was somehow a way to automate the skeletons in a reliable way. Then it might be kind of nice. But as it stands, I think it's just like slow. I think it's fine for white packs.
By the ancestors. It's good to see fresh words in front of me. Now, my translation skills are not what Isius were. I can achieve a meager paraphrase at best. But a little knowledge is better than none, is it not?
I suppose so.
Let us begin. This tapestry of truth is a threadbare cloth indeed, but at least you have allowed me to begin the first few stitches in its restoration, and to settle the memory of a dear friend. In return, allow me to give you this, a little practical wisdom to improve your lot.
Okay. Blasphemy. Oops, picked the wrong one.
My word.
I'm not even really going to use blasphemy, so it doesn't matter.
Valish contextualized syntax is a slippery eel indeed.
Valish.
Let me see if I can grab it by the gills. They carried their virtue gems to Doriani's bed. No, that's not quite right. Ah, yes. Doriani's cradle. The historian finishes that it was a price they needed to pay to ensure a Valish future.
Valish future.
Cradle of virtue gems? What sort of Valish future did Doriani hope to ensure? Splendid. Let's see what this page has to offer us. It talks of Queen Atsiri. Now, here's a portentous line. She drenches her altars with the blood of those deranged enough to question her vision. The next piece is a real eye-crosser.
Real eye-crosser?
I believe it refers to a communion. Something to do with the harvest moon? Again, Doriani seems at the heart of it. Good. This line I can read without issue. This will be our final night of fear, our final night of suffering. Sacrifice, communion, the harvest moon. An unsettling combination.
Unsettling indeed.
Oh my. This first line is frighteningly clear. Our queen is dead. Doriani is dead. So many have fallen, so many have changed. The latter text is almost indecipherable. It practically hums with agitation. Let me see. I can make out the words sleep, nightmare, and the beast. Whatever that
foreshadowing, foreshadowing.
Our historian finishes with, we have succeeded where our forebears did not. We have failed ourselves. I need not imagine the fall of the Val. I saw the nightmare with my own eyes. Strange. I was put in charge of dating the most antiquated of texts. This parchment, it's a remarkable copy, but it's no original. Much younger. Oh my.
Oh.
Listen to this.
Getting excited about
My
pages.
dearest Isius, I have been enlightened beyond expectation. Your work in translating these artifacts is worthy of the highest recompense, and thus I am delighted to offer you a position in my personal laboratory. Please do not give your escorts any consternation. I would be most pained to see such a precious asset damaged in any way. I very much look forward to working with you. Isius Perandus, your friend and admirer, Malachi. Poor Isius. Wherever you went, my pity goes with you.
Huh.
I suppose every civilization has its Doriani, its Malachi, men of divine talent and demented ambition.
Yeah, interesting.
Without
That's what you
them,
want to use in this context.
history
Come
would
on,
be a far
man.
less interesting place.
Yeah. What a bore it would be.
How Malachi survived the Purity Rebellion, I don't know. He was at Emperor Vol's side before Chich's corpse was even cold. I suppose Vol found him as difficult to refuse as Isius did. Malachi would never have risen so far without the patronage of an emperor like Chichis. It would appear that Doriani and Queen Atsiri shared a similar relationship. It was said of the beautiful Atsiri
Beautiful,
that
huh?
she wished to see her likeness reflected in the still waters of history.
Sounds like such
was no less
a douchey thing to
self-impressed.
say.
Of all the sins, vanity is the most hideous. San fell in the course of an hour, no more. A tempest raged down from the mountains and engulfed the city, throwing it into midday darkness. I saw madness in my colleagues' eyes, watched as the most rational men in the Empire jabbered and slavered and slaughtered each other. I witnessed Trinian, our gemling intellectus prime, engulfed by the radiance of his flaming cranial gem, and wither like a grape in the sun into a thing of desiccation and famishment. I've seen
Desiccation.
mountains spew fire in Namakanui.
That's a word.
I've seen waves as tall as trees and winds that leveled warriors and walls alike. Nature is
Winds.
what nature is. There was nothing natural about the cataclysm.
The cataclysm. Huh. Was this guy always here? Wait a minute. I feel like that's weird that this is all here. I mean, I'm not
Go
knocking it,
with care, friend.
but that seems crazy.